കടകം കടകം ഒഴിവ് കടകത്തിലൊഴിവ് പിന്നെ അശോകനും.
Suppose you are flying a helicopter and pass over a deserted island. Suddenly you notice a huge writing on the beach sand which reads HELP or help or SOS. What would you infer? Someone desperately tried to grab your attention by writing these letters, right? I'm sure you won't think that it was formed by a mere random chance. Hello everyone, it's me again, Binu Ashogan, back with the fourth session of the faith-kalari podcast. I hope you loved the kalari adavu taught last week, which was syllogism. I had also recommended to check about deductive and inductive reasoning as a homework. As a good teacher or ashan or gurukul, whatever you call, let me ask, did you check the same or were you distracted during my session? I know it was Valentine's Day approaching and chances of distraction was high. I can understand. They call it syllogism, which has a three-part structure. One is major premise, two minor premise, and three conclusion. I'll give you an example of a valid syllogism. Now the major premise is all numbers greater than 0 are possible. This is a universal rule agreed by all. Now a minor premise. I can understand that smile, that look, they are indeed very amazing. But when you pursue answers to existential questions, you cannot afford to give in to these distractions. So let us come back to deductive and inductive reasoning. I won't call this a new adavu, but as an extension to the first adavu itself. I would like you to appreciate this. This is not just a philosophical tool. It is employed throughout all the disciplines of study. This is how our brain processes information and learn things. In deductive reasoning, we move from general ideas to specific conclusions. If premises are correct, this will lead to certain conclusion. In case of inductive reasoning, we move from specific observations to reach general conclusions. Here, the premises need not be absolutely true, but are most commonly observed and can vary in the actual. The conclusion is also a broad generalization. It can apply consistently on a large data sample, but can be wrong in particular observations, particular cases. In other words, inductive reasoning aims at developing a theory, while deductive reason aims at testing an existing theory. Or, while inductive reasoning begins with an observation, supports it with patterns, and then arrives at a hypothesis or a theory, whereas deductive reasoning begins with a theory, supports it with observation, and eventually arrives at a confirmation. Here is a helpful diagram for your reference. A deductive one is where the conclusion necessarily, certainly follows from premises. The premises can be valid or invalid. Remember the invalid syllogism example which I gave last time. Also, premises can be either true or false. A deductive argument is sound only if all premises are valid as well as true. Similarly, for inductive argument, conclusion follows from premises with some probability. The correlation can be strong or weak. The inductive argument is cogent only if the correlation is strong as well as the premises are true. In the second episode, I promised that I would be introducing you to teachers who can train you better. Let me have the pleasure of introducing one such teacher now, Dr. Peterkreeft, a philosophy professor at Boston College and also at King's College London. I will be heavily drawing from his website peterkreeft.com, the link given below the description. Here he presents 20 arguments for the existence of God. I will add my bit into this, especially bringing up the common objections to these arguments. Now, these 20 arguments are not originally advanced by him. He just simply does a teacher's job of explaining them in a crisp way. In the introductory essay, Can We Prove God Exists?, Dr. Kreeft writes the following. Before we can answer this question, can we prove God exists, we must distinguish 5 questions that are often confused. Question 1. Whether something exists or not. A thing can exist whether we know it or not. Second question. Whether we know it exists or not. To answer this, we need to presuppose that the first question is answered as yes. A thing can exist even if we don't know it. But we cannot know it exists unless it really exists. Third question. Whether we have a reason for our knowledge. We can know some things without being able to lead others to that knowledge by reason. Many Christians think that God's existence is like that. Fourth question. Whether this reason amounts to proof. Most reasons do not. Most of these amounts to probabilities and not proofs. For instance, the building that you sit in may collapse in 1 minute, but the reliability of the contractor and the construction materials is a good reason for thinking that it is very improbable. Fifth question. If there is a proof, is it a scientific proof? A proof by a scientific method, which means experiment, observation, and measurement. Philosophical proofs can be good proofs, but they do not have to be scientific proofs. And Dr. Kreeft continues. I believe we can answer yes to the first 4 of these questions about the existence of God, but not to the 5th. That means God exists, we can know that, we can give reasons, and those reasons amount to proof, but not scientific proof, except in a very expansive sense. With this introduction, let us delve into the much awaited first argument for the existence of God, argument from design. It is also known as teleological argument. Telos means end, aim, or goal. This is formulated like a deductive argument. It starts with a major premise that where there is a design, there must be a designer. The minor premise is the existence of design throughout the universe. And the conclusion is that there must be a universal designer. Now let us examine these premises carefully. If we look at a beautiful painting of a person or a scenery or a city, we tend to admire the skill of the painter. Now, if I randomly spray the paint or ink on a surface, it might look beautiful, but it can be qualified as a design only if it meaningfully conveys something or serves the desired purpose. Recall what I mentioned in the introduction. You are in a helicopter seeing from a distance the pattern that reads help or SOS in an island. I am sure you would see it as a deliberate attempt by someone to seek help. Here, we not only see an orderly pattern, but also an intention behind the scene. A help message or a painting are very basic examples of design. If you take universe, you will find design everywhere, at a microscopic level or in the vast expanse of galaxies. You see genetic codes and sequences in all living organisms. Every tiny living cell, if put under a microscope, will look like a well-coordinated factory. How our bodies function is awe-inspiring. How organs functions harmoniously within our systems, like respiratory system, digestive system, endocrine system, muscular system, immune system, reproductive system. Wow! And how brain and nervous system coordinates everything together. Can anyone seriously say there is no design in this? Modern high-budget scientific projects are executed with huge application of design, but their design also pale in comparison with what we see in the universe and in our own bodies. How could we arrive at this conclusion? All these systems are studied under various disciplines of science. If we humans did not have the ability to do science, we could not have come to this level of knowledge and appreciation about our bodies. Now, let's look at the macro level design. We live in a planet full of life, with amazing biodiversity. You may wonder, what's the big deal about it?
In fact, it is a big deal.
The concept of cosmic fine-tuning relates to a unique property of our universe, whereby the physical constants and laws are observed to be balanced on a razor's edge for permitting the emergence of complex life. A prominent Christian theist, Dr. William Lane Craig, has produced a short animated video which explains this very beautifully. By the way, Dr. Craig is another great teacher whom I recommend if you are interested in theism. I am including his video in this presentation with a slightly increased speed. I am sharing his YouTube link below where you can watch this anytime.
From galaxies and stars, down to atoms and subatomic particles, the very structure of our universe is determined by these numbers. These are the fundamental constants and quantities of the universe. Scientists have come to the shocking realization that each of these numbers has been carefully dialed to an astonishingly precise value, a value that falls within an exceedingly narrow, life-permitting range. If any one of these numbers were altered by even a hair's breadth, no physical, interactive life of any kind could exist anywhere. There'd be no stars, no life, no planets, no chemistry. Consider gravity, for example. The force of gravity is determined by the gravitational constant. If this constant varied by just 1 in 10 to the 60th parts, none of us would exist. To understand how exceedingly narrow this life-permitting range is, imagine a dial divided into 10 to the 60th increments. To get a handle on how many tiny points on the dial this is, compare it to the number of cells in your body, or the number of seconds that have ticked by since time began. If the gravitational constant had been out of tune by just one of these infinitesimally small increments, the universe would either have expanded and thinned out so rapidly that no stars could form and life couldn't exist, or it would have collapsed back on itself with the same result: no stars, no planets, and no life. Or consider the expansion rate of the universe. This is driven by the cosmological constant. A change in its value by a mere 1 part in 10 to the 120th parts would cause the universe to expand too rapidly or too slowly. In either case, the universe would, again, be life-prohibiting. Or another example of fine-tuning. If the mass and energy of the early universe were not evenly distributed to an incomprehensible precision of 1 part in 10 to the 123rd, the universe would be hostile to life of any kind. The fact is, our universe permits physical, interactive life only because these, and many other numbers, have been independently and exquisitely balanced on a razor's edge. Wherever physicists look, they see examples of fine-tuning. The remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers seem to have been very finely adjusted to make possible the development of life. If anyone claims not to be surprised by the special features that the universe has, he's hiding his head in the sand. These special features are surprising and unlikely. What is the best explanation for this astounding phenomenon? There are 3 live options. The fine-tuning of the universe is due to either physical necessity, chance, or design. Which of these options is the most plausible? According to this alternative, the universe must be life-permitting. The precise values of these constants and quantities could not be otherwise. But is this plausible? Is a life-prohibiting universe impossible? Far from it. It's not only possible, it's far more likely than a life-permitting universe. The constants and quantities are not determined by the laws of nature. There's no reason or evidence to suggest that fine-tuning is necessary. How about chance? Did we just get really lucky? No. The probabilities involved are so ridiculously remote as to put the fine-tuning well beyond the reach of chance. So, in an effort to keep this option alive, some have gone beyond empirical science and opted for a more speculative approach, known as the multiverse. They imagine a universe generator that cranks out such a vast number of universes that, odds are, life-permitting universes will eventually pop out. However, there's no scientific evidence for the existence of this multiverse. It cannot be detected, observed, measured, or proved. And the universe generator itself would require an enormous amount of fine-tuning. Furthermore, small patches of order are far more probable than big ones. So the most probable observable universe would be a small one, inhabited by a single, simple observer. But what we actually observe is the very thing that we should least expect: a vast, spectacularly complex, highly ordered universe, inhabited by billions of other observers. So even if the multiverse existed, which is a moot point, it wouldn't do anything to explain the fine-tuning. Given the implausibility of physical necessity or chance, the best explanation for why the universe is fine-tuned for life may very well be it was designed that way. A common-sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a superintellect monkeyed with physics, and that there are no blind forces worth speaking about in nature. The numbers one calculates from the facts seem to me so overwhelming as to put this conclusion almost beyond question. There is for me powerful evidence that there is something going on behind it all. It seems as though somebody has fine-tuned nature's numbers to make the universe. The impression of design is overwhelming. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge.
In case if you want to verify these claims and prefer to see the text form of this argument, you can check the link from a website, crossexamine.org, which is run by Dr. Frank Turek, another great teacher whom I recommend. Now that I have shared the case for design at micro level to macro, including the fine-tuning presentation, and confirmed the validity of the premises, now the logical conclusion is that there is a cosmic designer who not only designed the universe but also ensured that everything was created and ordered based on this design. What are the attributes of this designer? Does he fit the description of God as per the classical theism? Well, not fully. We can see that he is intelligent from the extent of design at his work. We can also say he is powerful from his ability to execute this design, assuming that the creator and the designer are the same. Now, even if they are different, we can see amazing coordination between them. He is hidden, since he does not show up but just leaves his signature or his footprints. Now, does he know everything? Like omniscient? Is he good or omnibenevolent? Is he perfect? There is no clue from this argument. Now, this argument is not something that has no objections. I will come back next time discussing the objections and see how much we can trust this argument. Even you may agree or disagree with this argument. I welcome you to bring them up in the comment section. I would like to choose the strongest objections for the next session. I also request you to like and share this video if you think more people should watch this. Also, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. With that, we are winding up this Kalari session. Recommend you to watch this again and reflect on this idea. And as I said last time, do watch and learn as a group with family and friends. Check out the external links given in the description and enjoy this as a learning adventure. God bless you.